Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. In today's video, we're going to talk about the difference between currency and money because they're not the same thing. Well, what is currency? Currency can be anything that fulfills these certain traits. It needs to be a medium of exchange, a unit of account, meaning that you can buy things with it. It needs to be portable. You can actually hold it, carry it around, transfer it. It also needs to be durable, meaning that it's not easily destroyed. It needs to be divisible so that you can break it down into smaller units, and it needs to be fungible, meaning that it's interchangeable. So 1 equals 1. For example, $1 bill can be traded for $1 bill, or 1 ounce of gold can be traded for 1 ounce of gold. Now, if you're familiar with the history of currency and buying things, you know that in the early days of history, people didn't have currency, so they traded with things such as animals, maybe a cow, or fruit such as apples and oranges. But this is not currency. This is what we consider barter. And the reason it's not currency is because it doesn't fulfill these traits, these characteristics. When it comes to portability, for example, using a cow, I guess it's somewhat portable. But when it comes to durability, it's definitely not durable. You know, animals can die. If we're talking about fruits, they become rotten. Again, they're not divisible. You can't just break down a part of the cow, so you can buy something that's of smaller value. And again, they're not fungible, they're not interchangeable. One cow is not the exact same as another cow, and one orange and another orange are not exactly the same. So when it comes to currency, of course, you would know what we use today is currency. Fiat dollars, the American dollar, all the currencies around the world. This is currency, it fulfills these properties. But here is the difference between currency and money. So currency, we just mentioned, fills all of these traits. Money also fills all of these traits, all of these characteristics, but it has one other thing. It's a store of value, meaning that over time, it maintains its purchasing power instead of losing its purchasing power. When we talk about what we know as currency, fiat dollars, over time, they only lose their value. If we look at the rise and fall of the US dollar, we can see that over the past 100 years, it only loses its value over time. And this is due to inflation, which happens because of money printing. And this is just what's going on in the USA. And relative to around the world, you can say that this is pretty good. There are countries around the world that have had their fiat dollar just in 2019 alone hyperinflate over 50% just in 1 year. So you can make the case that the US dollar, although it did lose purchasing power, it might not be as bad as the rest of the world. But one thing for sure is that it's not a store of value. If it's 2020 today and you're thinking about holding your dollar for 100 years from now, it's only going to lose its value. So what is money? There's only one form of money that we can objectively say confidently that is money because it has shown us this and proven over thousands of years, and that would be gold. And this chart I have in front of me is just of the past 100 years. But even if you look back over the past 1,000 years, gold only gains value over time. And if you are looking at the chart, it does look a little volatile. If you are buying and selling gold in shorter periods of time, you could lose money, you could gain a lot of money. It is pretty volatile compared to a fiat dollar, but over the long run, it gains its value. And again, I say this because it has been around for thousands of years. Gold is the longest form of money. And if you see the picture in front of me, you'll also see a silver coin. And you might be wondering, if gold is a form of money, what about other precious metals such as silver, copper, who knows, maybe even things such as diamonds? Well, the reason why these are no longer considered such great forms of money that hold as a store of value over time is because with technology over the years, we figured out ways to mine more silver. Just in 2008, we were able to mine worldwide 21,400 metric tons of silver. And with technology, now up in 2019, past year, we were able to mine 27,000 metric tons of silver. So as the supply increases, the rarity of silver decreases and it's no longer valuable. And these same technological advancements have been applied to other things such as copper, such as platinum, diamonds as well. But the very interesting thing is when these same advancements were applied to gold, as a world, we were not able to find that much more gold. gold is still very scarce, and that's how it's maintained its rarity or its value over these years. Now, you might be wondering, what about Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin money? Is it a store of value? And this is a little hard to say. Objectively, we can say that it is a kind of currency because it really excels in all of these categories of fungibility, portability, durability, highly divisible, scarce, secure. It really excels. So we know that Bitcoin is a currency. But is it money? Is it a store of value? And again, I subjectively believe that it is. But objectively, it's kind of hard to say at the moment. From the beginning of time, yes, Bitcoin has only gone up. It's held its value since the beginning of time. But again, this is a short history. Bitcoin was only invented in 2009, and today we're in 2020. So it's really not enough time to say whether Bitcoin is a store of value or money. But the reason why I believe that it is, and again, this is my opinion, is because if we look at the yearly lows, it gets higher and higher. In short periods of time, yes, Bitcoin can go up 50% and it can go down 50%. But if you are holding in the long term, it can act, or it has acted, as a store of value. Every year, the yearly low gets higher and higher. So now at the end of this video, you can see that most things we use to buy with, it's currency. But there really is only one true form of money at this moment in 2020, and that would be gold. But who knows how the future would look? Maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 or 30 years, something like Bitcoin will be considered as money that is also a store of value. If you like my content, please go down below, show some love, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.